As we mentioned a moment ago, President-elect Trump attended a UFC fight at Madison Square Garden in New York last night with Elon Musk at his side. On Tuesday, Trump announced Musk will lead a new cost-cutting agency called the Department of Government Efficiency. The billionaire used his social media platform X to promote Trump's presidential campaign. He donated massive sums of money to the election effort, and he became a regular presence at Trump's rallies. So what will it mean now to have Musk, with his massive power and influence, at the right hand of the President of the United States? NBC News congressional correspondent Julie Tsirkin has our Sunday focus.
Let me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon.
Perhaps in politics. But Elon Musk has been a star in business for a long time. The richest man in the world, worth hundreds of billions of dollars. The visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX.
We'll see autonomous cars become 10 times safer than a human.
And the owner of X, once known as Twitter. But what's missing from Musk's impressive resume is a role in government. And this year, the one-time critic of Donald Trump jumped in with both feet. To help elect Trump and other Republicans, Musk formed a political action committee where he spent at least $118 million. Trump also tapped Musk with running his Get Out the Vote operation, where he held million-dollar giveaways for voters. And X became his right-wing megaphone, earning Musk a spot in the president-elect's innermost circle, a constant presence at Mar-a-Lago. Trump even brought him along to Washington this week, where he joked that he couldn't get rid of him.
I can't get him out of here. He just likes this place. And you know what? I like having him here, too. He's good.
And Trump gave Musk and former primary rival Vivek Ramaswamy their own task force called the Department of Government Efficiency. Their mission, to slash government bureaucracy.
I don't know if you've got to know Elon yet, but he doesn't bring a chisel, he brings a chainsaw.
Musk's outsized influence welcomed by some in the party.
They're obviously not a shadow government. They're obviously not decision makers in terms of policy.
But others within Trump's orbit are growing tired of Musk's growing presence. One source telling NBC News Musk is behaving as if he's a co-president and making sure everyone knows it. Musk has already benefited from Trump's election. Tesla stock skyrocketing, lifting his net worth by tens of billions. And his influence isn't just domestic. Musk briefly joining Trump's phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last week. And the New York Times reporting Musk allegedly met with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations and previously had contact with Russian officials, all while Musk's companies have major contracts with the federal government, something two Democratic senators raised, quote, serious concern over in a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland on Friday, amid reporting from the Wall Street Journal that Musk had high-level conversations with Russian President Vladimir Putin as early as 2022. But for now, Musk isn't going anywhere, posting a meme of himself in the Oval Office with a pointed message to his critics. Let that sink in.
And Julie joins me now live. Julie, good morning. So as you say, some are skeptical of how much power this new cost-cutting agency actually will have. But how much concern is there that Musk will use his direct line to the president to benefit those businesses?
Yeah, hey, Willie, good morning. Look, that department is effectively a task force. It's not an actual part of government. That would require an act of Congress. It's not clear how the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE as it's known, would work. The president-elect provided little specifics, only that Musk and Ramaswamy will advise the White House office that is already tasked with managing the nation's budget. Neither of the men will get a paycheck, and the same goes for all DOGE staff, according to Musk. The effort is unusual, but not necessarily unique. Similar commissions were actually created by Presidents Reagan and Obama. But Musk, by far, has the most conflicts of interest, Willie, with his companies Tesla and SpaceX already benefiting from $15 billion in government contracts. Either way, there is little Congress can do about it. Willie?
Meanwhile, we'll see how long the incoming president can share the stage with Elon Musk. Julie, fascinating look at that. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click Click the link right here.